Welcome to Popcorn and Pals, the podcast where we talk about all sorts of movies, good and bad, and give you our completely unqualified takes on them. He's Zach, and I'm Justin. And today we're talking about the 1989 coming-of-age drama starring Robin Williams. It's The Dead Poets Society. But before we dive in, Zachary, how are we doing?
I'm doing good. It's been like a couple weeks since we last recorded.
It's almost Christmas.
I know.
I feel like last time we were just moving out of Thanksgiving, and now it's Christmas somehow.
I know. Already halfway through the month. My my son has been doing like Elf on the Shelf and all that stuff.
You guys do the elf?
I have woken up in night sweats 5 or 6 times forgetting to do the elf already, having like to move it around at like 6 in the morning, hoping my son doesn't hear me.
So we don't do the elf. You like a little sidebar.
Yeah.
The gist is you have to move the elf every single day.
Mm-hmm.
It's every day.
Yeah, he goes back to the North Pole to tell Santa how the kid did that day, and then he has to come back to a different spot.
So he's a spy.
Yeah, he's exactly what he is.
He's Santa's spy.
And my son is never on better behavior when he's getting spied on all the time. So.
That's genius.
So, for the listeners, I have a brother who has kids the same age as mine. I was hanging out with him yesterday. I guess he was telling me that he was moving his kid's elf and like went and like brushed his teeth and like put it like the elf on the counter and like forgot and left it there. And the kids like came the next day and they're like, "Daddy, the elf is in the bathroom." And he's like, "I was like, at least I moved it." And I guess he was telling, he's like, "Man, the elf's trying to spy on mommy."
That's a good cover up. That's pretty good.
Yeah, that was funny though.
Well, good. Yeah, Christmas is next week somehow. I don't understand. Yeah, it feels like this year has flown by, but we saw Santa for the very first time ever today with G. So
yeah,
that was fun. She did great. She didn't scream, which is good.
Yeah, for a 2-year-old, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
Because both my kids, they're doing good now. Like my son he's 4, right? So he's like, he can't hold still in line waiting to see Santa. He's so excited. But anyways, so speaking of Christmas, we have a wonderful Christmas movie.
Let's talk about a joyful, happy movie.
'Tis the season for Dead Poets Society.
So for everybody out there, if you're not familiar yet, Zachary does wonderful summary recaps to give us just a bird's eye view of the plot of the movies that we discuss. So I have been so excited to get his take on a summary of the Dead Poets Society.
Yeah. So first off, I think like before I give that, I'm going to clarify how I'm going to talk about this movie, because obviously there's some subject matter in this movie that's pretty heavy and pretty dark, right? Suicide in particular. And it's an important part of this movie. All right, it drives like the whole back third of the movie, obviously. It's so dark. I don't know how to joke. I can't joke about it, obviously. And like, it shouldn't be joked about. So like, I'm going to talk around it. I'm going to bring it up in the context of themes in this movie. But like, there's a lot of analysis online at other people who are doing like video essays who want to get into this stuff. For me, I don't know how you want to tackle it, but I'm not going to go super into it.
Yeah.
There's a lot in this movie that's not just that, I think.
Sure.
So.
Absolutely.
Before I give my synopsis.
Yeah.
All right. So here is my synopsis of the movie. In a New England prep school, 6 friends start a lame but inexplicably controversial poetry club. When the situation turns dark, to avoid getting in trouble, they blame everything on their teacher.
Yeah, nailed it. Especially I like the lame club part.
No. For me, so that was part of my, okay, not to get right into my thoughts immediately here, but like that is part of my problem with this movie is we grew up with a group of guy friends, right? Now, we weren't at an all-boys school, but we went to high school together. There is no way in hell I am joining a poetry club. Especially not to rebel.
Yeah.
A rebellious poetry club.
So not even Robin Williams could get you in the Dead Poets Society, huh?
So what was your, I'm curious, what was your exposure to this movie before?
So I have seen Dead Poets before. I think I saw this for the first time. I want to say in college. It was either college or very late high school, which is kind of, I feel like I have particular thoughts towards this movie because the first time that I saw it, I related to it in so many different ways. In that sense of like, you're going to school, you're trying to figure out what you want to do with your life and all the things. I feel like this movie kind of came at a pivotal age for me personally. But watching it, it's one of those movies that whether you hate it or you love it, it's not really enjoyable. To go back and have multiple rewatches of it, it's not a comfort movie, I guess. So even going back and rewatching it for this, it's like you say, the back third of this movie gets very dark and not fun.
Sure.
But you have never seen it all the way, right?
No, from my exposure to this movie, I think it's one of those movies that there is so much in it that's in the zeitgeist, that's in the culture, that like I knew all the beats, I knew all the important scenes, right? SNL spoofed it, everything is like spoofed it and done all that stuff. Mm-hmm. So I was familiar with it. Like there was no surprises for me watching this.
Yeah.
But it was the first time I'd actually sat down and spent time watching the whole thing through.
Yeah.
It was like one thing I thought was interesting because I feel like, to your point, like you said, there was parts of it that you related to a lot as a younger viewer. And maybe because I am in my 30s, seeing it really for the first time, I missed that opportunity. Because like I am a guy who had a group of friends in high school doing a similar situation to this one, not at a prep school, but I didn't feel like any of these characters were any of my friends.
Yeah.
None of us growing up, I felt like were these guys, right? And maybe our parents didn't have this unrealistic expectation that they're all being put under, right? Mm-hmm. And like the ambition wasn't to go to the Ivy Leagues, right? The ambition was just to like, make sure you graduate.
Yeah.
And most of us went to college, right?
But we didn't have the soul crushing pressure of you have to go to an Ivy League school.
Exactly.
Yeah, there are like definitely, I think, certain things about this movie that are completely unrelatable. But I mean, especially like it is an interesting thing, right? This movie came out in 1989. It takes place, I think, in
50s,
59. Is that right?
It's like the 50s, 60s.
Yeah, right.
I was thrown a little bit off by the Brando reference because I was like, when he does it, right, he sounds like Brando from like The Godfather. And I was like, well, it's the 70s. But I'm like, oh, I guess he was around in the 50s. And same with John Wayne, right? I imagine them much more older actors, but.
Yeah. No, exactly.
It made sense for the context of the film.
So, I mean, like it's kind of, because you're exactly right. Going back to our own personal experiences in high school, there's no way in hell that we would have joined a poetry club. And I don't think a teacher could have inspired us to do it either. But back then,
or if we did, that anyone would give a shit. It would be controversial.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm like,
people like, oh, they're starting a poetry club. Those must be the smart kids.
Exactly. Which I think like I feel like that is a perfect segue into, just like our general recap and our opinions of this movie. Like, I think opening up, I made a big note of this. Like opening up, I guess it's the first day back in the fall semester?
It's like they're I don't know, like drop your kids off at school day or whatever.
Yeah.
Kind of like move in day maybe.
Yeah. But they have this opening ceremony and some of our guys are
That's why I said
flag bearers.
Sorry, I didn't mean. I said 1950s pep rallies really suck.
At Welton Academy.
Welton Academy.
Yeah. They walk in on like
this
super serious. I mean, it almost looks like it's in a prison cell. Yeah. But I mean,
it is a religious institution too.
Yeah.
So,
but like you have some of our guys, some of our main characters are walking in, and I made a note of this. They're holding 4 different flags, and those flags say tradition, honor, discipline, and excellence. And it's a fantastic setup as to like what is Welton.
Yeah.
And after they walk in, then you get the intro from the principal. I forget his name. Nolan. I think it's Principal Nolan, who is just such a hard ass. And that's where he talks about like
he sucks.
Our kids, they graduate and they go to Ivy League schools. Like you feel the pressure that these boys are under. Some of them look terrified to be there, right? But I feel like that's a wonderful setup into it segues right into the first moment that we meet all of the boys in their room, right? It's when Neil is kind of pulling Todd in. Todd's his new roommate.
Yeah.
So you get to meet Neil, you get to meet Todd, you get to meet Charlie, Meeks, Knox, Cameron. Like, they all come in, you all get a taste of what they're about. And you see that, like, even though they kind of don't love Weldon for obvious reasons, they're there, they're there at the behest of their parents.
Yeah, no.
But, like, they take it very seriously, right?
Yeah,
like,
they actually do.
Yeah, like, they're like, hey, study group tonight?
No, that's one of my notes. I was like, when I was first watching them do that, they're like, hey, guys, study group, we're doing a study group. I'm like, this has to be a euphemism for, like, going to mess around somewhere, right? Or, like, do something else.
Mm-hmm.
And it's, like, legitimately a study group. And, like, that's how they hang out. They hang out and study because that's, like, all they can do there.
Yeah.
It's interesting.
Yeah.
Before we get started too much into this, so Carly gave me Carly's my wife, everyone. She gave me feedback on this, and her one note was that she wanted us to kind of, I think, for people who haven't seen the movie, give a quick actual synopsis of the movie,
Sure.
as well as maybe an overview of what the podcast structure is going to be.
That would probably be a good idea.
So for everyone listening, our structure to our episodes, and we have done this our first two, and I think we so far have liked the way it operates, right? So for now, it's going to be, we'll do like a quick chat like we're doing right now. We'll go over some of our initial notes, which we've kind of already gotten into. And then we do our categories or superlatives, which covers best scene, best character, worst character, age the best, what's aged the worst from the film, what are they talking about, WTF are they talking about, could there be a sequel, what would have happened the next day kind of thing. And then we end it with our favorite section, hot takes and nitpicks.
Oh, that's
I got some fun ones.
It's the best.
And then finally, we will rate the movie and whether or not we think it is a classic. And then so let's real briefly recap the movie just so people have context. I think Dead Poet, unlike our second episode, which was The Philadelphia Story, which I think probably a lot of people have not seen. I think a lot of people have seen this movie, and again, it's so in the zeitgeist. But basically, this movie is just a coming-of-age tale about 6 friends at a prep school, I think in Delaware.
Yeah.
It was filmed in Delaware, at least.
Yeah.
And them kind of dealing with their parents' expectations, the school's expectations. When they get a new teacher, Robin Williams, he kind of introduces more free thinking into them. And they run with that. And the first thing they set up, he does it through, he's an English teacher, so he does it through poetry. And so they set up what's called the Dead Poet Society. And it's kind of a space for them to be themselves.
Mm-hmm.
And as they start trying to exercise it outside of the society is when they start getting pushback to the point where Neil, who's really I think the main character.
I would say so.
He tries to be an actor and his dad puts a stop to it. He ends up committing suicide. And then the movie kind of ends with this blame game where the teacher, Robin Williams, gets fired.
Yeah.
But in a moment that's parried a million times, the students kind of stand up in one last act of defiance, basically thanking Robin Williams character for introducing them to a new way of thinking.
Perfect. Yeah.
So anyways,
Perfect recap. No, yeah. I think you kick it off like you have a very clear picture of what Welton is, the boys and their role, how they interact. And you get a brief, even from like the very beginning, the very first meeting of all the guys, you get a little tease of Neil's relationship with his father, because that is like an underlying, it's like a storm
Red
cloud.
From that 70s show?
Yes. Which I have some nitpicks on Red, boy. But it kind of feels like this.
Be under worst subcategory, worst character, worst father, because there's a few of them in this movie.
He's there for sure on my notes. Yeah, it feels like Neil's relationship with his father at first, like it just feels very uncomfortable. But as the movie goes on, it feels like this storm cloud that is just creeping slowly and slowly, and it just kind of starts to really take shape. But yeah, in the beginning, so you get this picture of just this horrible school, and then we're introduced to Professor Keating, and it's like it upends everything that these boys are starting off on their.
He's just delightful. Robin Williams is just delightful.
He is, and this is one of, I feel like I haven't seen all of Robin Williams's movies, but like I think predominantly we all remember him as a comedian and the funny man, but like in these these dramatic movies, he is phenomenal.
If anything, it's my favorite performances of him.
Mm-hmm.
Like this, Good Will Hunting.
Mm-hmm.
Is it 12-Hour Photo? Is that the one where he's like the...
Oh, yeah. The photo.
Or is it the photo booth or Photoshop? Photo developer?
Yeah, Photoshop. No, it's like 12-hour.
Adobe Photoshop. I don't know, whatever it's called.
A modern movie.
But I really like his dramatic turns because he still adds that comedy. He can't help it.
Yeah.
But he has when he tones it down, he brings a little charm and twinkle to his seriousness, and he's so approachable.
Yeah.
Which is Patch Adams is another one. Anyways.
Yeah.
Okay, so this movie, before we get into all the categories and stuff, this movie was nominated for 4 Academy Awards. So I wanted to run them by you real quick.
Mm-hmm.
To get your feedback on justification.
Sure.
So Best Picture.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think reasonable.
I guess.
Yeah.
I feel like I know why.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Best Director for Peter Weir.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing I've ever seen of Peter Weir's before this was The Truman Show. Which, I love The Truman Show. It's funny, they're only 4 or 5 years apart, I think.
Yeah.
The movies, and they feel completely different eras.
Yeah.
It's just the filming technology, the sound editing, the music.
The Poets feels like an old movie.
It does. And it's in 89, which we both were born that year. So it's the year we were born, but it feels so much older than The Truman Show. Anyways, and they're not that far apart, really. And then lastly, Best Screenwriting for
Tom Schulman.
Yeah, and he won for that. So that's the only win, right?
Yeah.
So I'm curious, with that win, obviously the Academy thought it was really well written. What do you think about the writing of this movie and the dialogue? And
it's hit or miss. It's kind of all over the place for me. All right, there's personally, all right, some of Professor Keating's monologues I think are so well written, and some of the scenes are so well written.
Anything with Keating in it, it's excellent.
He is phenomenal, right?
Yeah.
Which
Robin was elevating that script.
Yeah, but there are other scenes that they feel so out of place that it's was this added post-production or something? Where did this come from? It doesn't really fit, even from a writing standpoint. From I'm trying to think. I want to say it's when they first approach Keating and they're like, "Hey, look at this old yearbook photo we found of you."
Oh, yeah.
What is this, Dead Poet Society, whatever? He kind of brushes it off, and he gives them a short recap of what it was, but then he kind of brushes it off. And so it's between, I think, Knox and Charlie, but they have this very...
I don't know Charlie. You mean Nwanda?
Yeah, sorry. No, it's Nwanda now. I think it's between them two, but they have one of the most awkward interactions.
Sure.
And they it's overacted, and he's Charlie's it makes the girls swoon, Knox, and Knox is wait,
when they swoon, yeah.
What do you mean they swoon? Charlie, how do they swoon?
Yeah,
so you have these little holes that are kind of punched throughout.
I do find that that was my note was when Robin Williams in the scene, it's excellent writing. When the kids are in the scene and it's just them, it's hit or miss.
Yeah.
And especially I feel like they had a very good grasp about how they wanted to write the Dead Poet meetings.
Yeah.
But when they're in the dorm rooms and they're kind of doing their exposition to get things moving to the next Dead Poet meeting or to the next, classroom scene or whatever, it's the exposition they need to fill where they have to what's the dad's backstory? He wants to be an actor, or one of the characters can't talk in public. One character is horny for a woman. I mean, whatever, right?
Yeah.
But they're trying to build these character moments and build the backstory and the context around the moments for later in the film. And that's why I feel the writing kind of struggles.
Yeah.
And that's what I was when I saw that it won for Best Screenplay, I think the themes of this movie, the themes, whether it's coming of age, friendship, or self-expression, self-identity, all those things. I think that's what's really well written, the themes of the movie. Some of the dialogue, whether it's the actors who deliver it, I think we'll get to the actors, but whether it's the actors delivering it or it's just the writing itself can feel a little wooden and a little forced.
For sure.
And not naturally how kids would talk to each other.
Yeah. And kind of tying into that, one of our fun facts that we were talking about before we started getting on here and chatting. So the original script was written by Tom Schulman. It was based on his own experiences at Montgomery Bell Academy, we are based here in Nashville, Tennessee. MBA is here in Nashville. And I think even more specifically, his own experiences with a professor or a teacher at MBA. So it could be, I think probably so, there was a lot of emphasis put on Keating. And
Sure.
to really hit that home run, you also have Robin Williams on top of it, who is going to just knock it out of the park, right? So
yeah, did you read all the different names of people who they had put up for it?
Talking about Liam Neeson and all these other huge actors at the time, but
yeah, I was like, okay, I was curious to get what you would think. Hey, let me see where I wrote them down. Okay, here we go. Would you just give me yes, no? If you can, if you want to elaborate, you can. All right.
Yeah.
Dustin Hoffman.
Maybe.
Okay.
Maybe.
All right. Liam Neeson.
No. Hard no.
Hard no. Mel Gibson.
Hard no.
Tom Hanks, which I'm as the one of the kids, I feel like he's almost too young.
Yeah.
Could have been in his maybe late 20s, maybe early 30s.
Yeah. Oh, well, Robin, I had to look it up. I think he was in his late 30s.
Yeah, the Robin ones always looked 45.
Yeah. Yeah. Tom Hanks, yeah, you're right. I think if he was a little bit older. Yeah. If he was a little bit older, he could be really good. I think that is why Keating he's such a great character, because he has the humor, he has the levity, right? You don't get that with Liam Neeson, with Mel Gibson. That would be terrifying.
No, and then last on the list was Mickey Rourke, which I cannot picture, but we are so far removed from 1980s Mickey Rourke.
Yeah.
I'm just, the context, I just have no perspective for on that one.
Mm-hmm.
I actually think Dustin Hoffman could have been okay.
Yeah.
But I think out of that list, Tom Hanks is just delightful in anything he does. He's got that charm too.
Mm-hmm.
So I think he probably would have been good. I could definitely see him as a teacher inspiring students.
Yeah. You're right.
Robin Williams is he's so great in the role. It's I would not want him not to be that.
He's perfect. I think that's why it's difficult to go through that list, because it's hard to picture anybody else as Keating.
Yeah.
Because I think he's just he is solidified as Professor Keating.
All right. Any other thoughts before we get into our categories? Any other notes you want to compare?
No. Let's get into the categories.
Okay. So just to repeat, we're going to do a few different categories: best scene, best character, worst character, age the best, age the worst. What are they talking about? What the hell are they talking about? What would be a sequel? What would happen the next day? This one, I literally have no idea.
Yeah.
So it would be, we'll get there.
Yeah.
Half of them go to Vietnam. I don't know. We'll get there. And then hot takes and nitpicks is our last category before we do Should This Be a Classic? So we'll start with best scene.
Mm-hmm.
Do you just want to kind of go back and forth? You can do a scene, I'll do a scene, and then maybe after we've talked through a few of them, we kind of give our final thoughts on it.
Yeah, you kick it off.
Okay. So I think the first scene that's really a great scene is the introduction of Keating's classroom and the Captain, my Captain, Carpe Diem explanation, which Carpe Diem to me, it's so funny because they use it so much in this movie. Yeah. It's just YOLO, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
Just a bunch of kids today, just, saying YOLO and doing dumb stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, has the great naming trick. That's one of my favorite things in the scene was when he was Pitts, unfortunate.
Yeah.
Right? Or Meeks. That's an odd one too, right? And it helped me memorize the character's name. I thought it was a really great writing trick.
Yeah. And
a very good relationship building between the characters without having any real dialogue between them.
Yeah.
I thought that was kind of a fun writing trick. But yeah, I thought that was probably the first great scene.
I agree. I think because I had it on one of my favorite scenes too. Because especially all right, we go through this quick little compilation of them starting, I'm assuming their first day back at school, right? They go through chemistry, they go through Latin. It's so boring. Every class is
it's
just
militaristic almost.
Yeah. You're just ugh. And then you get to Keating's classroom and the first thing he does is he walks into the room. They're sitting there preparing for their teacher to come in. He walks in whistling and then tells them to follow him out of the classroom, right? Like, this is unheard of. These boys are like, what the hell is going on? Yeah, right? And so, yeah, then he goes into the Carpe Diem, the Captain My Captain stuff. And, he starts to, it's like as a viewer, the seeds are planted that like, okay, Keating's he's really cool, right? But yeah, that first introduction into him, he's so different. I think to me, it stuck out as like, he is the spot of color in like this concrete nastiness of Weldon Academy.
Yeah, Weldon Academy doesn't have like syllabus days, I don't think.
No, absolutely not.
First day,
it actually
right into it.
It got me really nervous. I don't remember what class they were in, but the teacher was going over, I think, like one of their projects or something. And it got me nervous because I was like, how on earth did these kids do this without the internet and without computers? And it was scary times back then.
Oh, yeah. Study group, I guess. That was their answer to everything.
Yeah, absolutely.
No, I agree with you. I think like it's really Robin Williams' introduction.
Mm-hmm.
And, it begins that theme of like self-identity, right? Individualism, self-expression, all that stuff. And he just comes in and just like, he's like Babe Ruth, walks up, points out in the field and just hits a home run, I think, on the first scene he's in.
Yeah.
And half of the iconic lines come from that scene. So.
I think like all of Keating's scenes, like we talked about, I think that's what it makes this movie.
100%.
You don't have Dead Poets without Keating.
Yeah.
Going into
next scene,
still playing off of kind of like those early Keating scenes, but it's their intro into poetry. It's kind of like when Keating has them take a look into their poetry books, and they go over like this awful thing about how poetry can be like graded and analyzed, and you put it on a chart and a graph, and Keating has them rip out the page, and like he talks about it like it's shit. You have to feel poetry. But he gets in the center of the classroom and he tells them all like huddle up, and he talks to them about how going to school, or like you might think poetry is silly, right? Like you're here, you're going to be doctors, businessmen. And he says, these are all noble pursuits, but like poetry, love, beauty, passion, this is the things that we live for. And that monologue, I think I could have kicked a door down when he was done. It kind of like raises a fire in you because you're right. Like thinking back to when we were in high school, and thinking about how silly poetry is, I would never have gotten into it. But if you would have shown me that scene when I was in high school, I might have been swayed. Because he puts a tangible thing on it, right? That like, because you think about like what use is there for poetry? It's silly. Like, what am I going to be, a professional poet, or I'm going to be a teacher or whatever? Like, no, I'm going to be a doctor. I'm going to Welton Academy, where I'm going to go on to Ivy League. I'm going to do big things. What do I need poetry for? And he puts it into a framework that's like, this is important for you as a human being.
Yeah.
That scene, love it. It's one of my favorites.
No, it's a great scene. It was literally my next one on my list too. The ripping out the pages. The accountant in me loves the formula system.
You nerd. I bet you liked it, didn't you?
I would have been like, I can actually do that. Not have to give opinions and have like, like have to really think about something and get an emotional connection to something. So I can put the graph out there and rate something.
God dang it. Of all people, you would like that.
That's the accountant in me. I would have been like, okay, I can get a good grade based on this system. I understand systems. But no. It really is. It's it's very inspirational, and I think it's fun. I love when they're ripping the pages out and the hesitation they all have, because they're just so brainwashed into the system they're in and everything. Yeah, it's a great scene.
What's your next one?
I had the first Dead Poet meeting.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So when they're escaping and they give the dogs the bones, which I thought was, I'm like, one, why is there a dog at the school today? I did not, the only time they ever see the dog, but okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, they gave it the bones. They give it a lot of bones too. Like,
Well, I got to keep him busy for a while.
and then yeah, just I love them in the hoods. It's like probably the most cinematic I think shot is like them running through the night in the hoods and everything.
Yeah.
And then they get there and they're figuring it out. And I think it's what I thought was really interesting about it is it's like they're really just being friends in there, right? And they're not even necessarily doing what they're there to do, which was to like read poetry, right? Some of them are telling scary stories.
Yeah.
Like it's just kind of an excuse to hang, and they have this loose structure that they're figuring out. But I think it's a great scene of just camaraderie and relationship.
You also get to see very early signs that Cameron is a butthole.
Yeah, Cameron.
We'll get to Cameron later
No,
on.
I'll look at all the characters because I have lots of opinions on each one of them.
Yeah, yeah. But no, yeah, it is a funny scene because you're right. It's like they have this thing, right, that they're latching onto. Dead Poet Society, we're going to resurrect it. We're going to do it. And then they get there and they don't know what they're doing. So like they're feeling it out and they're trying to understand like, what is it that we're supposed to do? There's no rhyme or reason. I also thought it was really funny. Like Todd says, well, I don't want to read, whatever, because Todd's a little bitch, in the beginning. He's just shy. He's just awkward, right? But so like even at this, like, it's just this club for them. It's not for anybody else.
Yeah.
Neil kicks it off with like an intro. He says, Todd's going to take the minutes. I almost wanted to fall out of my chair when he said, Todd's going to take the minutes. Like,
I know. I'm like, he's calling him out.
Yeah. Well, like this is big professional meeting that it's those remnants of Welton that has gotten into them and ingrained in them, right? Like they can't even like break away and just have fun for themselves a little bit, right? They kind of struggle to adapt to this new freedom of like, well, what do we do?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a good, like first intro into that. My next favorite scene, which I think is like my all-time favorite scene of the entire movie, it's Todd's awakening. When they
when he has he does the poem.
Yeah.
I have that as one of mine too.
I love how the barbaric yelp. Yeah, and I love how Keating kicks it off like a couple scenes prior to it when he gives them the assignment, tells them they have to write their own original poem and get up and present it in front of the class. Before he leaves, he says, Mr. Anderson, don't think I know, or don't think that I don't.
Scares the hell out of you.
Yeah, this assignment scares the hell out of you. And so Todd gets up. It's his turn. He says, I didn't do it. I didn't do the assignment. Which also, just going back to why Keating is the boss, rather than say like, okay, well, you fail. You get an F on this assignment. He gets him up. He gets him to do the barbaric yelp. And then he helps him conduct his own poem, like on the spot, right? By like, what's the first thing that pops in your head? Look at this picture of Uncle, what's his name? I always forget his name. Uncle Walt.
Yeah.
Look at this picture of Uncle Walt. Tell me what you see. Sweaty tooth madman. Right? And so like, but he does all of this and he gets him out of his shell. And like, by the end of it, Keating is blown away. The classroom erupts. And then it's like, from that point on, Todd, it's like he's been reborn.
Yeah.
Right. And he goes from the shy, timid kid to he's out of his shell. And then like their next poets meeting in the cave, Todd's sitting there smoking a pipe. And like he's a whole different person from that point on in the movie.
Yeah. Well, they set it up so beautifully, I think, too, to your point, right? Like, it's not only with like, hey, Mr. Anderson, I know this is going to scare the hell out of you or whatever, right? So, it's not even that scene with Robin Williams, but I think it's the very first in the classroom scene when they rip the pages out and he's asking them to read from the book. And he asks Todd, Robin Williams' characters ask Todd to read from it. And he's obviously nervous. And instead of like coaxing it out of him or like forcing it out of him, you can just see like in the subtlety of Robin Williams' expression that he understands what's happening in this kid's like mind and heart.
Yeah.
Right. That he's like, this is his biggest anxiety.
Yeah.
And so like you see him learn about the kids, like, and Robin Williams just sells it with just little tiny expressions on his face that he's understanding this. And then so when it culminates in that scene and he brings it out of him in a way that not only like you could see how a scene like that in real life would be like very awkward where the teacher's like, nope, get up there, you're going to do it kind of thing. And instead it's literally poetry, but it's like shot like poetry too. It comes out in like the way the camera moves around them while they're doing it. Yeah. The way that when he no longer needs Robin Williams to make the poetry, Robin backs off and he gets down small and he just absorbs it.
Yeah.
It's such a great, it's a great scene.
Yeah. It's
the runner-up for my favorite scene. It's not my favorite scene, but it's the runner-up.
Yeah. No, it is phenomenal. That's a good call out on Keating's face when he recognizes that Todd is terrified. Because like, again, like all of the other teachers at Welton they're like unbending. They're all harsh and hard and like like for a movie that came out in the 80s that's set in the 50s, like nowadays I feel like anxiety and all these things, like we're attuned to it.
Yeah, if anything, it's like a badge of honor sometimes for people to go, I'm anxious.
Yeah, right? Yeah. And so like for
it's over-prescribed or self-diagnosed.
Yeah. For like a teacher to recognize that a student is anxious by this action and to, like not make him try to do it and to just kind of like move on and let him, calm down himself. I mean, it just further
brings him along, like where he, pushes him where he needs to be pushed, but he brings him along. Yeah, it's great. It's great writing.
Yeah.
Makes Keating one of the best movie teachers of all time.
Yeah.
Kind of stuff. Yeah.
That's the type of scene that I feel like that's what won the Academy Award for the screenplay, because that's phenomenal.
It is. It's awesome. Do you have any more?
Oh, what's your favorite?
So I have two more scenes I wrote down. The very last scene where they're standing on the desk, carpet, or "Oh, Captain, my Captain."
Classic.
Classic scene.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful scene, and really nice way to end the movie.
Mm-hmm.
So after such a big tragic moment in the movie.
Yeah.
But my favorite scene, and it's a little one, but I thought it was the first time I was interacting between the friend characters. Not the first time, maybe, but I think the best time is when Niels comes to Todd, who's sitting outside, and it's Todd's birthday, and he gets the desk set, and like the way Neil just reads Todd and like walks him through it, and he's like, if I was going to get 2 desk sets, this is like, he just like diffuses Todd's, kind of melancholy and brings, it's just such a moment of genuine friendship, I think.
Yeah.
And I think, I don't know, I just loved their interaction. I loved the whole scene. It's like, this is so, and it was probably the one scene I had that Robin Williams wasn't in that I really, really, really liked.
Yeah. I feel like so much of Neil's character from the get-go, he's such a wonderful friend, right? Like from the start of the movie, he is attempting to bring Todd in. He sees, right, like not only Todd is his new roommate.
Yeah.
He sees that Todd is a shy kid. He's very closed off, right? Like he wants to try to get him to open up and bring him along into his friend group, introduce him to other people, get him to kind of relax a little bit. But in that scene, I feel like I saw a lot of Keating come out in Neil.
Yeah.
Right? Like where he picks up the desk set and he's like, I think this is kind of
aerodynamic.
Right? I think this thing needs to fly. Like so much of it, I was like, that is so similar to Keating. But like Neil in his own right, I think Keating helps kind of like ignite a spark in Neil that like helps him get to new heights of his own ambitions, right? Like with the acting and stuff. But on his own, Neil was phenomenal out of the gate. He's a great friend.
As a friend, yeah.
Yeah, right? Like,
I think the actor sometimes gets a little crazy.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah. He's the only thing I know him from his House.
Never seen it. I've never seen him in anything else.
Yeah, he's like one of the main characters in House. He plays like an oncologist. So he actually plays a doctor.
So he did it anyway, didn't he?
Yeah. But I feel like because that character can be kind of intense and manic. He's like, I want to be an actor. I'm going to be an actor. And he's like wrapping himself in a blanket. And it's like, dude, whoa.
Yeah.
You just walked in here, okay? Just tell me. I'm right here.
Yeah.
Or when he won the part, right? He's excited. I get that. But he's knocking on everyone's doors. Everyone's like, this is the dialogue that just, when it's coming out of the kids, like, good for you, Neil. And you're like, yeah, I'm going to be Puck. I'm going to be Puck. And everyone's like, yeah, Neil.
It's so nerdy. Like just a bunch of nerds.
So to me, like, as he sees, we can get into the characters, right? But like, as he meets Keating, he becomes like kind of a little more loose than any.
Yeah.
And and more rebellious, obviously, which he's supposed to be, but he's kind of like manic. Like he's definitely the one, besides Nuwanda, who kind of has some insanity, but they're like two completely different versions, right? One's like rebellion and, kind of being a punk. And the other one is like, he's just kind of like, just fully bought in, right?
Yeah.
To the philosophy of Carpe Diem. All right. So best scene, odds.
I'm going with Todd's Awakening.
Yeah.
That's what I'm dubbing it.
And then mine is Todd's birthday, and Neil coming in and then throwing
Todd and Neil
the death set.
in the death set.
Yeah.
2 years in a row.
Yeah. All right. Let's do characters.
Okay.
So starting on the IMDb, run down the IMDb list. First character is Robin Williams. We've talked a lot about him already.
Yeah.
Keating. But he's like great.
Yeah, I think that's like Keating is arguably why you watch this movie. Yeah.
I mean, like you're sold at the end of the movie. Like I think I read somewhere there was like so many teachers say they watched this movie and they wanted to become a teacher. That's how good the performance is.
Yeah.
So Robert Sean Leonard, that's who plays Neil Perry.
Okay.
Like I said, in-house.
Yeah.
He's House's best friend and an oncologist. I forget the character's name, but Neil's okay.
Mm-hmm.
Like I think for the main character, I don't know, he's okay.
Yeah.
I think the acting can be a little tough at times.
Yeah. I think a lot of them, like, especially because, like, I know so many of them are kids, right? Or young men at the time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you kind of get to see the rough edges of acting, especially because, like, everything changes over time. But, like, nowadays I feel like you see child actors and these kids, it's like, oh, well, they've been acting since they've been in diapers. Like, they've gone to acting school
6
and all
Disney
the things.
Channel original shows before they get anything.
Right. So like you see kid actors now and it's like, oh my God, they're so believable. But back then, I don't know what level of acting some of these guys had. I don't know if this was, I'm not trying to jump ahead here, but if this was Ethan Hawke's first movie, but like.
This is his first big, yeah.
It shows. Like with so many of them, like, yes, they have
shade on Ethan Hawke, who's next on my list.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, I agree with you though, a little bit. One thing I do wonder about that, because I was thinking like, Stranger Things season 5 just came out. And so I was rewatching it. My wife had never watched Stranger Things and the kids are so good in it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, but I kind of wonder if it's a limitation necessarily on the acting abilities, on like everything is digital now and you can shoot it 500 times. There's no consequences to that.
Yeah.
So they keep doing scenes till they're right.
Mm.
This was shot on film. There's limitations to how many times you can shoot.
Yeah.
And so you're just like, that's good enough. Let's move. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, I wonder if is like part of it.
I'm sure. Yeah.
It's like why the acting seems more believable from a lot of kid actors today and a lot of certain things.
For sure.
Or Stranger Things just got really lucky. I don't know. Probably a little bit both. Because like, I mean, a lot of these actors like had full careers that are these kids in this movie, right?
Yeah.
Maybe not all of them are Ethan Hawke caliber. So Ethan Hawke's character, yeah, I think he's got a couple really good scenes.
Yeah.
Billed as like the third lead. It doesn't really feel like the third lead to me.
No. I would almost put him as like, which is funny because like I feel like he is the most recognizable name out of all of them today.
Yeah.
Which that's obvious. That's not indicative of prior to this movie, but like, yeah, he doesn't really have a whole lot to do for the majority of the movie.
Well, his whole character is like, I don't do things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't even want to read.
Yeah.
I don't want to read poetry.
I would him like the guy who plays Knox Overstreet and the guy who plays Charlie Dalton Nwanda. I'd say they're almost equally as big parts as him.
Yeah, for sure. Like I would put Ethan Hawke almost in the same category, at least until like third act.
He kind of takes over once Neil dies.
Yeah.
He kind of takes over as the de facto lead.
Like I would put him in the same category as like Meeks or Pitts. Or is it Pitt or Pitts?
Pitts, I think, with the name.
Pitts and Meek and Pitts. Like they just don't have a lot to do.
Yeah.
Like they're fine, I think, for the most part of what they do have. I'll save my criticism for Ethan Hawke. I think him and Neil's dad have two of the worst scenes, in my opinion, in this movie. We can get to that later in the nitpicks, but I think for the most part, like he's great, especially like in his big awakening scene with Robin Williams.
Yeah.
He's phenomenal. I love that scene.
So for best character, the only one I had left as like kind of, I think in the contention for best character, I actually did like Nuwanda.
Yeah.
I thought he can be such a prick.
Yeah.
And he's just stepping on your toes. But like Robin Williams again comes in with that great scene and he's like, instead of reprimanding him, he's like, that's not how you do it.
Yeah.
He's like, you're like, there's just been being an individual, having opinions and being stupid. He's like, that was stupid. He's like, and short-sighted.
Yeah.
And he takes it and internalizes it and grows. I think like him and Todd probably have the most arc in this movie.
Yeah.
Because actually they changed the most by the end of the movie, I think.
Yeah. Yeah. I like Charlie's character.
Yeah.
I like him because I feel like each of the boys, they kind of have different takes on how their relationship or how their characters change, I guess, based off of Keating's influence.
Mm-hmm.
Charlie from the get-go is like all in. He has the biggest grin on his face. He's the first one to rip the page out of his book. Yeah. He's so in from the start.
So
right?
He's also the only one that got expelled.
Yeah. And like, whereas the other boys, it kind of takes some of them. Like, I don't even know if Cameron was fully sold.
No,
like, he's
a
snake. but like, yeah, even though Charlie was all in, Charlie also took it to the extreme.
Yeah.
That almost got him expelled. He eventually does, but.
All right. So do I definitively say who's the best character?
It's not a question. It's Keating.
Yeah.
By far. Yeah. I mean, the boys are great, but Keating is what this movie is all about.
No, 100% agree. Robin Williams is like, the movie's not even close to being as good without him.
Do we get to move on to the worst character?
Yes. Let's go
my
worst
God.
character.
Yes. Right here up top. God, I've been waiting for this. Okay. Worst character. And I will say, like, I don't know. This is a toss-up, and I have it on multiple levels. From worst character from, like, just pure acting standard.
Okay.
But then also worst character from, like, just super big butthole in the movie.
Okay.
First up, Cameron.
Yeah. Nice.
Without a doubt. Cameron.
Well, the opening scene, they make you hate him. He's like, oh, here's a stiff.
Yeah.
Or whatever. And like, he's just got a punchable face.
Yeah, absolutely.
Which makes all the more sweeter when Charlie does punch him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like that whole, we don't have to dive into the suicide stuff, but like seeing that, like,
we can talk about it. It happened in the movie. It just,
yeah.
I'm like dwell on it.
Seeing that these boys built something themselves. They forged a bond by, raising up the Dead Poet Society. They did something together.
Yeah.
And like after they lost one of their own, it was without hesitation. Cameron is out to save his own skin.
Yeah.
He doesn't care about the guys. He doesn't care about anybody but himself, like particularly Keating. It would have been anybody if it was somebody else. But like he saw that they had their sights set on Keating, so he threw him under the bus. Yeah. But it going back to Charlie's character is awesome in different ways, and seeing Cameron get popped.
Yeah.
Was so
satisfying.
It's so satisfying. And I love that, like, you have the betrayal of Cameron and the downfall of Cameron within like 2 minutes of each other. I love that because so many movies, I feel like you have to wait for not the villain. You have to wait for these awful characters.
Yeah, for the karma to come, the mothers to come.
Yeah. And seeing him get just popped was, it felt so good.
And he doesn't. They don't even give him a moment to redeem himself or anything, right? Like at the end, when everyone's standing on the desk, he's still sitting down.
Yeah,
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
No, he sucks. Yeah, but the actor's good at it.
Oh yeah, no, he's
doing everything he's supposed to be doing
for sure. Like he plays a wonderful butthole. Like you really do hate him.
Yeah. Anyone else you got on your list?
Neil's dad.
Yeah.
Neil's dad on so many different levels.
That's just the worst.
He's all right. The one thing that I don't know. All right, it's absolutely a thing in the movie. Like it is discussed, but like I don't know if enough emphasis is put on this. So like after Neil dies, the principal pulls all the boys in, and he's like, "I will find out like what happened." He says Neil's dad wants an investigation opened. Yeah. Right. So like after everything that happened,
he still can't even.
He still is not taking responsibility for his actions, and he's blaming the boys, the school, everybody else,
the teacher,
but himself.
Yeah. No, it's even a bigger, more shitty moment. Yeah.
And neck and neck for arguably some of the worst scenes in this movie when Neil's dad finds Neil. That scene was just awful, in my opinion.
Yeah, I don't know how you even act that, right? Like, in their defense, that is...
So he
when he goes, no.
Yeah, he runs over. It's almost like...
It's in slow motion, right?
Yeah, it's in slow motion.
Yeah.
It's a very weird shot because he's like running kind of off camera, but it's kind of zooming in. But it's like zero emotion on his face. Usually, he gets there and he picks him up. Okay. You know what I think of when I think of a father that just lost his son? I think of Cedric Diggory's dad in Goblet of Fire.
Yeah.
That's my boy. That's what I want to see. He was like, oh, my boy, what happened? I hated it. I hated when Neil's dad found him.
But the long no, I was like, remind me of like Darth Vader at the end of episode 3. I was like, oh my God, it's not.
It kind of takes away from the seriousness of it a little bit. And it kind of steals it away, but those are 1 and 2, Cameron and Neil's dad.
See, my number 1 least favorite character, Knox Overstreet.
Oh.
The whole Chris subplot.
Yeah.
I'm like, his utter obsession, his creepiness, his friends are like they're so encouraging of it. I'm like, guys, I mean, and we all know what it was like when you were a teenager or a young person. But I don't know. I was telling you, my strategy for like preparing for this podcast was watching the movie twice. So I watched it once without taking any notes. And the second time I was going to take my notes. I literally skipped his scenes. I was like, I've seen them once. I do not need to see the Chris and Knox scenes again.
They're very
so tough to watch. And he's just so, if he was my friend, I'm like, dude, shut up. I don't care. Like, you're so annoying about this thing. I'm like, it's one girl. You met her at one dinner and you're like obsessed with her. It's creepy, dude.
It does feel kind of shoehorned in because there's a lot of time spent on Knox's like subplot.
Yeah. And the fact that it even works on Chris a little bit.
Yeah.
Is also.
Yeah. It's really, I have under Age the Worst. I have one of those in there from Knox.
Oh,
but yeah. Knox is, he
was the one I struggled with the most.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, just the characterization. I don't think it was like I think like, Neil's dad is doing what Neil's dad was supposed to do in the film. He's the worst, but he was doing what he was supposed to do. Right? You know, Cameron's doing what he's supposed to do. He's the worst at it. Or he's the worst, but like, he's doing what he's supposed to do. I just felt like whatever Knox is supposed to do, it was not working for me. Like, if he's supposed to be relatable, it's just, he just felt like an icky friend.
Yeah.
I guess we all had those.
We all had creepy friends. I mean, he did, though. He told Chris he loved her after meeting her twice. He said, I'm in love with you, Chris.
I know, right?
She's like very visibly shocked, like, Knox, what?
In the middle of her class, when they're at the party and he's like stroking her hair and like kissing her on the head, like carpe diem, what? Carpe diem into assault? I'm like, what are we doing here? It's a carpe diem yourself right into prison.
Did it make you cringe when he kept telling Chris, dead poets honor or whatever?
Dead poets honor or whatever. Yeah. I'm like, are you going to kill her? She's like, dead what?
Yeah, what is that?
You going to murder me? He's like, if I can't have you, I'll wear you. I'm like, that's what I felt like. Sorry, okay. He was my least favorite.
So I'm going to get you a Knox Overstreet t-shirt for Christmas.
He was my least favorite.
No, I think those are great worst characters. Yeah. Because Knox is kind of like the underdog. You wouldn't suspect him, but he is absolutely creepy.
All right. Age the best.
I think for me, it was a lot... kind of like what you talked about, a lot of the messaging.
Yeah.
I think it still holds up really well today. Between like coming of age, you're a young person, like what do you want to do with yourself and like not conforming, all of that stuff, right? But then like as a parent, I feel like the messages behind the suicide at the end of the movie, and I mean, like we've all had parents. Well, I don't want to say we've all had parents. Some of us have had parents that have tried to push their desires, their goals onto us, right? So like kind of seeing that from a parental perspective Like it
Like
leaves
what kind of expectations can do to someone.
exactly those messages. I feel like, again, this movie came out in 1989 and they still ring home very, very well today. I think that is what has aged the best for me.
I had a similar answer. I think like Keating's message of individuality, of free thinking, of finding your own path, don't walk in the mold. Like I think today even more so it needs to be stated, because I look at like the way social media has like pushed us into certain ways of doing things. Like what I don't get, it's going to sound like an old person, but what I don't get about Gen Z, and millennials do this too, is like a trend on TikTok where they're going to make the same video 87 times with the same song, right? I'm just going to pick that song and they're going to do, Harlem Shuffle or whatever. I don't know. I'm not super into TikTok.
You're so behind.
But whatever. I mean, I'm not super into it. So whatever. But like I was listening to another podcast and it was like with some Gen Xers and they were talking about this and I just like it rang true to me because like Gen X, it's like they would have been mortified if you were not like called an individual, right?
Yeah.
Like, if you were like, like conforming to the man or whatever, right? And like I feel like the Gen Z generation is like the generation of conforming.
Yeah.
And this movie is like so anti that. And like, guys, it really is important, especially with like the more our technologies like encourage us to do the same things. AI is literally going to take everything everyone does and then wants to spit it back at you the same way to everybody. So you get the same videos, you get the same content, you get the same version of this, and this, or it's just iterative.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't know. I really liked the message of like, no, walk your own path. Like, the easy path is copying what everyone else is doing.
Yeah.
And I feel like we do it so much today.
Yeah.
In all of our way we consume our entertainment and produce our entertainment. Hell, this podcast is completely derivative of a lot of other podcasts that I really like. And like, rewatchables, I was telling you about that one, right? Where they basically do this, but for movies that are less classic movies and more like the easy you put on, you're going to watch it every time it's on TV kind of movie.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, we're not being super original here. And it's hard to be like completely original, but yeah. I think it's something to aspire to. And I really liked that message in it.
Yeah. Yeah. No, very well said. I completely agree.
Age the worst.
Oh, you want to go first?
Nothing. It's perfect.
Yeah, right. My number one on
Knox Overseen, but okay.
Yeah, no, my number one on Age the Worst was specifically Knox's creepiness at the party.
Oh my God. I was literally on the couch with my head buried in a pillow. I'm like, don't do it, dude. Yeah. Don't do it.
It's creepy. Like I don't care how you try to spin it. You can't sell me on like, oh, he's in love. This is about passion and poetry and all that. Like, it's creepy. She's passed out on the couch. He starts like stroking her hair and like the whole thing, it just feels so creepy because at this point he has met her one time. This is the second time that he's actually seen her in person.
Exactly.
Like by today's standards, these are criminal charges.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't know how do you walk back from that?
Yeah.
Like, how does she even come to see him? Like, how is there not a restraining order for him to not go to the school?
Yeah.
Right. Like,
and I think
like
the
50s, but like
things historically, especially when it comes to like romantic relationships, right? Like things have aged so differently from how they were in the past. I mean, like, if you want to walk it all the way back to our last episode on the Philadelphia story.
Yeah, I mean, that's an extreme version of that scene.
Right. But like even in the 80s, I think there were a lot of things
the
that
90s,
were
80s, yeah.
Yeah, like that were acceptable back then, but now they're just so creepy.
Yeah.
And I feel like back when this movie came out, that scene probably was like, oh, he's so passionate about Chris and he really loves her and all the things. But today,
yeah, because it's like a tender kiss, right? It's not like a creepy, but it's not meant to be a creepy kiss. I don't think.
No,
but like, dude, bro,
yeah, it's tricky, difficult to watch.
Yeah, no good, no good. I had the paddle scene.
Oh. Yeah.
I don't know if it's aged the worst,
Nwanda.
but like, I was like, when the way it's shot, where he's like legitimately like in like a BDSM position,
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't know what's going on here.
Yeah.
I'm like, I know they did this kind of stuff back in the day, I think, you know?
No, they definitely did. Yeah.
I was like, whoa.
Yeah. It's that scene. Yeah. It's, it's so different. Can you imagine getting paddled
No.
by your principal of all people? Yeah,
No.
I agree. The paddle scene was tough.
I did think it had a great moment though, because the scene right before that is Charlie brings the two girls to the meeting, right? Names himself Nwanda, puts lipstick on his face, and then he does like the God is calling, we want girls, and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And because like at that point I was like, Nwanda, like, one, that's a girl's name, bro. But two, I was like, this is so stupid. But then afterwards, and they're like, well, did you say anything? He's like, Charlie, did you say anything? He's like, it's Nwanda. And like, it totally earns the nickname. And I'm like, somehow by the end of the movie, I was like, God damn right, Nwanda.
He's Nwanda.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, damn right.
Yeah. He is like, whereas Cameron had like no connection to the group, Nwanda was the group.
Yeah.
Like, and he kept his faith in that group the whole way through. He never ratted him out.
Yeah, even with his buffoonery, he's still like, oh, dude, don't worry, guys. I'll take it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, that was. But yeah, that was my other age the worst. Like, just full on paddlings.
I had another one that aged the worst.
Okay.
This is more so, I think, like less about like the subject matter and more just like how the scene plays out. But Todd's distress after he finds out that Neil has died, the whole scene, watching it, just felt so odd and out of place. So he gets woken up in the middle of the night by Charlie, tells him Neil passed away. Neil's gone. Right after that, they're walking through just like the field. All the boys are chasing Todd, right? Yeah. And like, he just like breaks down, which, going back to some of the worst scenes, I think this is arguably one of the worst acting that came from Ethan Hawke in this movie. It just wasn't believable.
It's very over the top and kind of.
Yeah, right.
People grieve in different ways.
Yeah, right. But, like, grief shows in many different forms.
But it's definitely like what a movie version expects the grief to look like.
Yeah. He has this very awkward, like, cry and scream, but then he just runs off and he starts screaming, "Help me." And it's the whole thing.
Yeah.
I put another note in here, like when he runs away and screams, "Help me," Charlie like holds back the other guys with like a very shocked look, and he's like, "No, leave him be." It's so serious, but it's not serious.
Yeah.
Like, I think kind of our earlier criticisms about like so much of the strength of this movie is with Keating, but there are just these weird scenes that are kind of peppered throughout that just don't work. This felt like one of them. But especially like rewatching this movie after I hadn't seen it in several years, I was like, what the hell is this?
I am. Okay, now I'll save for hot takes. I'll come back to this. You got any more?
No.
Worst? I mean, the worst scene to me is the kissing, the overseat scene, the knock scene.
Yeah.
That's just what's aged worst to me. All right. What are they talking about? WTF are they talking about?
Did you have anything for this?
Just when Keating is referencing poetry and they act like they know what he's talking about, I'm like, I don't know what he's talking about, but I'm not a literature guy.
Yeah.
So I think like when he's like one of the first lines I think he says is like, they were kicking copies of Byron at my face. I have no idea what that means, but I'm assuming it's a poet. But other than that, no, not really. I think it was, pretty well. It's not that, the movie's not that old either. It's 35 years old, but 36 years old.
It's kind of similar to Dave. There wasn't anything in there like comparative to the Philadelphia Story that we recently reviewed.
Well, that's the thing, right? Like, Dave is a 90s movie, so it's just modern 90s stuff, right? There's like novelty in it, right? But or not novelty, but like things of the time, but not like we don't understand. This movie, it was made basically in the late 80s, early 90s, right? Right on the edge of the 90s. And so I don't feel like it put anything from the 50s in the movie that couldn't be explained 30, 40 years later, right? So it's like, and if it was something in there, like, I guess like when they're making the radio and like what they're doing, you know, maybe you wouldn't know what that was, but then they literally go, "Are you boys making a radio?" And then, you know, then they're using it later, right? Like they explain it, right? So like, I think because it's a historical piece, all the things that would be like out of context if it was truly a 50s made in the 50s movie is explained in the movie.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, sequel.
Yeah. What's your take on it?
Who's going to go to Vietnam?
Yeah.
You know, right? Like, I think like you ship Cameron off. He's MIA. We never know what happens to him.
That sounds great.
No. You know?
Put Neil's dad with him too while you're at it.
Overseed and Chris get married, and she realizes it's the biggest mistake of her life.
Yeah.
And, you know, Nuwanda is protesting.
Nuwanda runs for president.
I really don't have much, because like what happens the next day? They go back to school. You know, it kind of just goes. They are all changed, but they're all juniors. So they have one more year of this school left.
Mm-hmm.
And then they all go off in their separate directions. Like, I think, like, to me, this movie I would classify as like untouchable. You can't make a sequel to it.
No, absolutely.
It doesn't need one.
No. It stands on its own. Yeah. I don't even, like, there's nothing that you could do a sequel about. Like, the society is disbanded. Keating's gone. Neil's dead. Nwanda's gone.
Yeah.
And the boys are all, what's left of them are in their regular, like, Welton.
Yeah, they just got to go through it, and they got to do what they're going to do. And, you know, I think they're changed from their experience. Yeah. But they're all still going to go be bankers, lawyers, doctors. Yeah. You know? Yeah. Even Charlie, who gets kicked out, I mean, like, he's got family, got money, right? Charlie's going to go to another prep school somewhere and
for sure
still continue on his path. I don't think there's really going to be much consequences for him.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. To me, and plus, I'm not sure you want a sequel to this movie.
No, I don't think you do.
It's where it needs to be.
Yeah, I feel like it does. It sets out to like tell a story and give messages, and I think it accomplishes that. Yeah. And that's like, even as a viewer, I don't want anything more. Yeah. Out of Dead Poets.
No, I don't need to revisit that world.
Yeah. We'll lock it away. We'll rewatch in another 20 years.
Exactly.
It's just one of those. It's like,
I think, you know what it's made for? YouTube shorts, clips of Keating being awesome. And you go watch those and you're like, that's inspiring.
Yeah.
I'm going to go be a better person for the next 10 minutes, then forget about it and go back to what I was doing before.
Yeah. Yeah.
Back to scrolling on whatever, you know?
You need something to wake you up in the morning.
Yeah.
Watch Keating's monologues. And get fired up.
Yeah. All right. Hot takes and nitpicks.
Oh, I know you've got a bunch. You kick it off first.
Okay. I'm going to propose a question. So one is a hot take about the movie. Okay. First one. I don't know if they did enough to make Neil's suicide believable. Like, I knew from just knowing about the movie and like what the movie was about, like I knew it was going to happen. Mm-hmm. I don't really feel like he ever seemed like he was going to do that until he did it. Yeah. That's like one of the weaknesses of the writing. I don't feel like there's like he does get a little more manic as he goes along, but he's so positive. And I guess maybe that's a commentary too on like a lot of people's experience. Yeah. With people who have done that, is like, you know, they didn't see it coming.
It came out of nowhere.
Kind of thing. Yeah. It's like, to me, it really comes out of nowhere.
Yeah. No, it does. It feels like all of the, I guess, lead up to him killing himself, it feels like it was piled on at the last minute.
Exactly.
Right? So, like, you had all these dominoes that kind of fell the night of. I mean, like, he's had his issues with his dad. And like, that's very evident. But, like, he gets done with the play. He crushes it. All of his boys are there. They want to, you know, go out and celebrate and do all these things. His dad throws him in the car. He can't enjoy the greatest night of his life. Mm-hmm. When he gets home, his dad tells him, like, not only are you done acting, but you're going to a new school. I'm taking you away from your friend group, right? Like, you have all of these things that are just piled up and piled up and piled up to where, like, obviously he feels the need that he can't do this anymore. But it does. It feels like kind of unfounded because, like, Neil has like a zest for life up until...
Yeah, if anything, he's like the most, you know... positive and unrelenting in that pursuit.
it makes me wonder, I don't know if you saw this little fact, and I would love to know the behind the scenes stuff behind like on the writing, but like the original draft of this script, I guess, Tom had written in that like Keating was going to be on his deathbed.
Yeah, was
Did
that
you see that?
leukemia or something? Yeah.
Yeah, but like it just didn't fit.
Yeah, and it's totally necessary, but yeah.
So maybe instead of like completely removing like death from the movie, he just like threw it onto one of the boys.
I am not sure it's needed.
It's not. I mean,
I don't think it's needed at all. Like
mhm.
Keating can still get fired. They've set up enough that he is like different enough from their curriculum.
Mhm.
And like just I think the parents complaining that Neil was in the play and that they have been sneaking out into a secret set, like all that stuff, you could get Keating fired
Mhm.
without it.
Yeah.
And again, like, I don't know. I don't want to dwell too much on this part of the movie because it is like something I really don't, not like have a professional understanding of.
Yeah.
And don't have really a lot of personal experience with it at all either. So like, I don't want to like discredit it because I think I could also see it, this really meaning a lot to somebody too.
Yeah.
Right. And the way it's written, the way it's handled and like,
Mhm.
and people are really relating to it. So my hot take's probably not fair. For me, I just think the movie can achieve what it needed to achieve without it. And I don't think that it always, for me, sold that it was going to happen and needed anyways.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it's a great call out because I think we'll get to this when we get to, is this movie a classic or not? But
Mhm.
like this one scene, this whole section of the movie, the suicide section, it's what prevents it from, I guess, being more, in my own personal opinion,
Okay.
from what I would want out of this movie. But,
Mm.
no, yeah, like the other thing I wanted to throw out there about this
what's your
scene,
nitpick?
I guess like so much of this, because then we can move on from this because it's not fun to talk about.
Yeah.
It's just
I almost didn't bring it up, but I was like, okay, we kind of got to talk about it a little bit.
it's so dark, but like it does play a big role in like the end of the movie. Okay, obviously death and suicide are a very serious topic. Like you said, people are going to take different things from this than us, right? Where we don't really have a personal relationship to this, to suicide and all the things. But it's a very heavy topic. But that scene of Neil preparing himself to do it felt odd. It felt weird. So like he takes his shirt off, he puts on Puck's crown.
Opens the window.
He opens the window. It's like the middle of winter, so it's freezing outside. And like he's all the while doing this, there's like this weird seance, like almost like ritualistic music in the background.
Yeah, the music in this movie is not.
It's all over the place.
Yeah, it's all over the place.
But like this whole him preparing himself to do it it felt so drawn out. Like, is this really necessary to get this support? Like, I think it would have been more heartbreaking to see him like crying or broken down. Like, it almost looked like he was determined, kind of going back to.
Yeah, it's like he's broken. At that point, he's just completely broken and out of his mind.
Yeah, right? And so, like, it seems like he's lost his marbles or whatever it is. But, like, it felt like there was a lot of emphasis put on it and a lot of thinking went into that scene that just felt so strange.
Yeah, I do think it's partly the actor, too.
Yeah.
Like, no offense to Guy from House, but...
Guy from House.
But, like... He's not the strongest actor in the movie.
No.
And that's a lot to put on a young actor who's actually not that, I don't think was that great.
Yeah.
Like, I think he was good. He's serviceable. Right?
Yeah.
Fine. A hell of a lot better job than I could ever do.
Yeah.
I'd be so uncomfortable. I would be a terrible actor.
Mm-hmm.
But, like, it's a lot to put on him.
Mm.
And I'm not sure that he pulls it off either.
Yeah.
All right. Here's my hotter take.
Okay.
Kidding. He probably deserved to get fired.
Yeah.
Like, at the end of the day, you can love him, but, like, that school had a very specific curriculum. Mm-hmm. They hired him to do a very specific thing, and he refused to do the job they hired him to do. Whether or not he did it better or differently, or you can disagree. But Keating, despite what happened at the end of the year, are they asking him back?
No.
Right? Yeah. You know?
Yeah.
Look, go teach back at a school that wants that type of teaching.
Yeah, for sure.
I think he probably deserved to be fired at the end of the year.
Yeah, no, he is entertaining for the viewer, a
Yeah.
million percent. But in the grand scheme of Welton and like what do we stand for to get our boys to graduate and go to the best schools in the country, yeah, he didn't really fit into that plan. Super great.
Oh, no.
So, like he's
Thank you for your service. We'll see you.
Yeah,
Don't come back next year.
You tried. We tried it on. It didn't fit. And but I mean, without Keating, you don't have a movie. But
no, I'm just saying though. Like he kind of like he wasn't coming back.
I mean, there's a good reason why these boys did what they did because he was the spark that ignited it. I mean, without him, they would have just had study groups. Study group tonight.
Study group tonight.
You want to study
smoking cigarettes, making radios.
Yeah, you guys want to go study Latin?
Study Latin. Yeah. No. Yeah. The one actually. Okay. So the one relationship I liked, they have so few scenes. But there's the two teachers, Keating, and I think it's like...
Yeah, I know who you're talking about.
MacArthur, I think.
Yeah.
And when, it's like, he's the one that comes in the classroom and they're ripping the pages out. Yeah. He's like, what's going on? And then he's like, oh, okay, this is and then they have the lunch scene, and then they have like another moment. And then at the end of the movie when he's getting fired and he looks out the window and he's like, you're all right by me. Yeah. It's like, I like their little relationship.
Yeah. He actually, I had a note in here. So one of the things that I love so much about this movie is, I guess, just like the general scenery of everything.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's kind of reminiscent of like a Hogwarts or like a Harry Potter. You have just like this old school in, up in the Northeast. And I think they said they scouted like 70 different academies or something like that before they landed on this one. But
I can't believe they didn't pick NBA.
Right. But just like the aesthetic of everything is so, in the first half of the movie, it takes place during autumn. So you have like these beautiful fall colors everywhere. But there is one scene with that teacher. It's when the boys, I think, are first starting to talk about like having their first Dead Poets meeting, but they're in his classroom. His desk is right in front of an open wood-burning fireplace that is actively burning. He is smoking a pipe.
Yeah.
And there are gun cases lining the walls.
That was the one. I did notice the guns. I was like, that might age the worst. Guns in classrooms?
Yeah. Like watching that, like you can't tell me that is not like the peak image of a preparatory school. Like having your professor sitting there in front of a fireplace smoking a pipe with guns behind him. Like, but I love that teacher because it's like he's apprehensive of Keating at first, and then they get into their little poetry off during lunch, and like Keating kind of kicks him up a notch, and like he's like, oh, I respect you.
Yeah.
And then they're buddies after that.
No, I like their little relationship.
Yeah. I have one plot hole scene.
Okay.
Really, it is just like a nitpick, but the entire, the scene where Charlie has the phone call from God. Okay. One, how did he get a telephone in that room? In the big auditorium in the 1950s, how did you get a telephone in that room?
Yeah.
Two, who called it? Because somebody would have had to have been sitting there listening for the principal to like call that phone specifically.
How do the logistics of the joke get pulled off?
Yeah. Exactly. I mean, it's a silly nitpick, but like the whole time, I'm like, how the hell did he get a phone in here?
Yeah.
It's not like a cell phone. I mean, this is like a hardwire landline phone that he dragged into the middle of the auditorium somehow without anybody else noticing. Oh, it just made no sense. But that was my nitpick. But I don't know how else you make that scene work because it is really funny.
It's actually the one kind of comedic moment, that they have, like real comedic moment. I think they have a few other. There's some lighthearted moments, but like probably when they're actually really going for a joke.
Yeah,
that is true. That's good. I don't know. Extension cords, man.
Apparently, back in the 50s.
Yeah, I don't have any more hot takes and nitpicks.
Oh. That was a short one.
Yeah, I really don't. Honestly, I thought that, again, the Academy Award was for writing in this movie, and I thought the writing was pretty tight. Mm-hmm. Not always the dialogue, and not always the delivery of the dialogue, but I felt like the story was pretty flawless.
Yeah, I agree. And I feel like we fleshed out a bunch of our nitpicks throughout. Yeah. There's so much to talk about with this movie. But yeah, those are some good picks.
Yeah, my hot take was like Keating's probably fired no matter what, right?
Yeah.
Like, he's just not a good fit for the school.
He's definitely not a good fit. Ooh, maybe that's the sequel. Keating and the other professor go off and they start their own school.
There you go.
I would watch that.
Yeah, I think you would want to see and none of their kids get into Ivy League.
Yeah,
but they all think for themselves.
They're just a regular public school.
Oh man, I wonder what it takes to get into that school. Because is it just money, or is it like, do you have to have like some base level of like testing?
Sure, you would think so. I mean, I can't imagine even if you had all the money in the world, they would just let you in if you were smart.
I don't know, man. Money talk.
Yeah,
but
that's true. Okay, should this be a classic, Zachary?
All right, another hot take. I'm gonna say no for me. Honestly, I thought the movie was okay. Yeah. I think Robin Williams is a bright spot in it, and he's very enjoyable in it. I thought the movie was just a movie. Yeah. That's fine. It was good. It was a good movie, but not for me. Not a classic on my list.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I was going to say, I actually agree. I don't think this is a classic. I do think, I'm going to round it back to what we were talking about earlier. I feel like there are so many good messages in this movie that are important for certain people to hear.
Mm-hmm.
Like, but at the same time, I can't say that like this is required viewing for every high school student. No. You can't, right? Because like there's like, I don't think young kids need to see the suicide scene. I don't know if anybody needs to see that scene. It's a tough scene, right? But I do think that there are certain messages throughout this movie that are good to hear. But as a classic, I don't think so.
Yeah, I was trying to think like of the moments. Like there's some iconic pop culture moments, the Carpe Diem stuff, the Oh Captain, My Captain stuff. So like from a just understanding pop culture, it's probably good to see.
Yeah.
Like way more so than like the Philadelphia Story, which I felt like had nothing of pop culture relevance.
Mm-hmm.
Dave doesn't really have anything of pop culture relevance, right? I mean, I love Dave, but like, those are the first two movies we did. Like this is the first movie I think that we've done where there actually is like a penetration into the culture.
Mm-hmm.
But like if you're going like best Robin Williams performances, like, this is not. There's other ones that I think serve a better job. I think Good Will Hunting is a much better, not a much better Robin Williams performance, but if you need the iconic Robin Williams performance, you can get it from that movie.
Yeah.
Like, coming of age movies. I think you can go watch 100 John Hughes movies, and the acting is better, and the dialogue is better, and the camaraderie of the characters is better.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, I don't think you need it from this movie.
Yeah.
1950s movies. I think there's better 50s culture movies. I think you can go watch American Graffiti. That's a coming of age movie too. Preparatory school movies,
Yeah.
I don't even think from a preparatory school movie that this is the best like version of that either, right? Mm-hmm. So can't think of a better one on top of my head, but like I don't need those a lot in my life. But like I just don't think like for every piece it has good pieces of all of them.
Yeah.
But there are better pieces, I think.
Jack of all trades, master of none.
Yeah, kind of thing. So like I'm like for me, I'm like there's just other movies that fit in its lane that I would put up above the other ones, right?
I think you hit the nail on the head earlier. I think make YouTube shorts of Keating's monologues, and that's arguably the best way to watch this movie, or just watch a supercut of like all of Keating's scenes, and I think you're going to be good to go.
Yeah,
because that is what is enjoyable. That's what's most inspiring. I think all of like the big messages come from Keating himself. I don't know if you really get any really good take-home ideas from the boys. Like just watch Keating. And that's all you need. That's all you need from Dead Poet Society.
Yeah, Keating, classic teacher.
Yeah.
Like he's definitely, I think, on, maybe not like the Mount Rushmore. If you added like 5 more heads to Mount Rushmore, he's on the Mount Rushmore teachers, like but other than that, I think it's all okay. Yeah. All right. Any other final thoughts?
No, I think I'm good.
Okay. Well, thank you for listening. Everyone, keep popping that popcorn.
I like that. Pop that popcorn.